The biggest objection to self-acceptance is if I accept myself or my situation, I won't want to take action to improve myself or my situation. I'll just be lazy. But the exact opposite is true, and here's why. When we do things to get approval, we fear losing that approval because we got the approval from doing. So, for example, if you're a content creator and you got a bunch of followers or approval from content creation, but all of a sudden you start to lose your passion for it. You want to take a break. Or perhaps you don't want to do it at all. You're going to fear not doing it because that's how you got your approval. That's how you got your love. So you constantly have to do to get. That's why the foundation of self-acceptance has to be self-improvement. Because when you're doing something from a very accepting place and you don't feel like you have to do it, you now do things because you want to do them. And when you do things because you want to do them, you're just going to take more action naturally. It's not going to feel forced. It's just going to be natural. And before you know it, when you do something you enjoy doing, that's when time flies. That's when you get into that flow state. And that's when you get better at something. And when you get better at anything and your skills go up, you get paid more. You get more success. You feel more valuable. So again, self-acceptance has to be the foundation, but that is very hard to do when you live in a society, especially if you're in the US, that is telling you that you are what you do. Your worth is based off what you do. People announce themselves based on what they do. When you introduce yourself, oh, what do you do? Right? What's the most common question when you first meet someone? What do you do? And then you normally name off your job title, right? We're so associated with our titles. I'm a content creator. I'm a brother. I'm a father. I'm a mother. I'm a hustler. I'm a motivator. Whatever your title is, we're so tied to it that if we lose it, then we almost feel like we lose ourselves and we don't know who we are. But the truth of who we are is very expansive. All we are balls of energy floating around in space. You are literally just one ball of energy. You're made of a bunch of cells. That's it. You're very expansive. And once we realize this, we realize we don't have to constrict ourselves. That we're expansive, we could do whatever we want. We can choose to do something and then choose not to do it and stop and do something else, because as expansive beings, we don't have to constrict ourselves to one thing. I know I struggled with this a lot when I got a lot of value from doing, just like what I told you. I so badly wanted to have a title that felt prestigious. So for a while, when I first got into content creation, it was through writing, because I had a nostalgia about writing. I envisioned calling myself a writer with a successful book and what a writer's daily life looks like. In my head, I envisioned a writer running off in the cabins, writing in solitude, and being really successful and being artistic, right? I had all these halo effects around these labels because I thought once I became that label, then I would get approval. And it took me a very long time to learn that that energy doesn't work. Trying to become something to get just doesn't work. Because anytime you stop, you feel, let's just say you feel tired and you don't want to write, then are you not a writer? That's one of the traps I fell into. There'd be days where I was just tired. I was still working, going to school, and I didn't want to write, but then does that mean I'm not a writer? These are the things I would ask myself. And it wasn't until I learned how to really release a lot of the energy in my body that stuff just happened to be released naturally. Wanting to do things to get approval, to have an identity to hold on to feel valuable, just seemed to disappear once I learned how to deal with the energy in my body better. I really believe understanding energy is the simplest way to improve yourself. Because if you ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And then ask yourself, how can I make myself feel content or peaceful? There's just things you're naturally going to have to let go of. And when you don't have this negative tension around what you need to do or what you think you need to become, you now have more space in your mind and body to go guide your energy in the direction that you want. And you're also, when you're not looking for an identity, you're also just more open and receptive to new experiences, and you never know what you're going to like. Think about this. What if someone who's a pro surfer, they're only a pro surfer because they lived in an environment where surfing made sense. If they lived in a cold climate, they probably would have been a snowboarder. So because of their environment, they experienced surfing and fell in love with it. If they lived in the snow and snowboarded, they would like snowboarding. People from Canada tend to be hockey players. Our environment dictates what we like. That's why in the West, in the US, you have a lot of content creation. You have sports. The US is known for sports. That's why the US is number one in gold medals. That's why in the Olympics, the US always does so well, because being a good athlete is how you get a lot of approval. But look at how many athletes have come out and saying how depressed they are because they feel so much pressure to perform, to do, that if they're not doing well, what happens? Their self-esteem is ruined. So until we can get to a place where we're okay whether we do something or not, we'll never actually be okay with what we do because we're doing it from the wrong place. And self-acceptance is also hard because you have to actually let go of control. You have to let go of not knowing what you're going to do. And we're so used to not being okay with ourselves and our situation and being in a fearful state to take action that we don't know what it's like to take action from a calm, centered place. I view a lot of self-improvement as almost getting back to a place where you feel drunk or high. I actually think taking drugs, even shrooms, could be a good experience because it reconnects you to emotions that you've been disconnected from. Right? When you get drunk or high, you just don't care. And when you're in that fun, playful, vibey mood, the things that you were worrying about just don't happen. You're in a very surrendered state. If someone were to talk about something that you're stressing out about while you're drunk or high, you're like, okay, I don't really care about that right now because you're in a surrendered, peaceful state. So I'm constantly asking myself now, throughout my day, if I feel any tension, is how can I get to that drunk, high, carefree space? Of course, there's things I care about and I do want to get done with my life. That's why I'm making 3 videos a day. I've been on TikTok uploading about 3 times a day and uploading on YouTube about twice, 1 full length, 1 short or 2. And there are things that we are going to want. There's desires. The human mind and body has desires. We want food. We want sex. We want approval, but it's the space it's coming from. And that's always going to be the most important thing. So now if I were to give like practical tips on how to accept yourself, you could do it with energy. You can be like, okay, how am I feeling right now? Can I be okay with how I'm feeling? I think this is the most effective way. Because if you try and get into too many tips and tactics, now you always have to do things to feel acceptance or approval, and you have to accept yourself to then get something. So you have to breathe and relax. You can't accept yourself in order to get. That's never going to work. But what's the paradox? That does work. Because when you're feeling good about yourself and you feel okay with yourself, you're okay with your insecurities, you're okay with your negative thoughts, you're okay with your emotions, you're going to have more confidence and you're going to take more action. So really, I think the most effective strategy is to ask yourself how you're feeling and then ask yourself, can I be okay with this? Or just tell yourself it's okay. If I had a penny for how many times I tell myself it's okay, I would not be making these videos because I'd be rich. I'm constantly telling myself it's okay, breathe, relax, because I subtly have anxiety. I used to have social anxiety. And no one would guess that. Everyone that meets me, they wouldn't guess that. That's because I know how to look calm and centered, but inside I'm still kind of like freaking out. And one of the ways I tried to get approval was by being a calm, peaceful person. So look, I was trying to get approval for being this calm, chill person. So anytime I wasn't feeling calm and chill, I forced myself to look calm and chill because that's how I got my approval. So again, just ask yourself where you're at, how you're feeling, and tell yourself it's okay. But there's other things you can do as well to notice also your positive feelings and jot them down. Notice when you're feeling really excited. Because also in the West, we're taught to not feel that excited or that much joy because we fear we're going to lose it. Right? We're scared to have positive experiences because we fear we're going to lose them. That's why people don't have relationships. They're scared that they're going to get attached to someone and then lose that person and be heartbroken. So sometimes we fear pleasure because we feel like we're going to lose it. So you kind of have to go on a little bit of a journey and ask yourself, how am I feeling? What do I like? What do I want? And even if it's something that's vanity, money, looks, fame, you have to be okay with that. Look at actors. You can argue actors are not the healthiest people in the world because perhaps maybe they're chasing fame, but also a lot of them just love losing themselves and becoming a character. They love that, and I understand that. When I play basketball, I get into my zone and I feel like I become a character as well. When I'm at work making coffee and being fun and playful, I feel like I'm the barista character. So we all have characters we want to play, and I think actors can come at it from a healthy or unhealthy way. But still, if they want to have a big screen movie and see what that feels like, I can't judge them for that. I go to the gym because I want to look good. If I were to lie, I would be lying if I said I go to the gym because I want to be healthy. That's honestly priority number 2. Number 1 is because I want to look good. I used to be very overweight, and I didn't feel as good and secure in my body. I really didn't accept myself at that weight, which is okay. And it forced me to take action to lose weight. And what I realized by doing that is I do care about how I look. So I was very honest with myself because I struggled with the binge eating habit because I would go back and forth. I would judge myself for caring how I looked. So I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm not going to diet. I would gain a bunch of weight back. And then I would ask myself what I want. I'd be like, no, I do want to look good. I care how I look in clothes. So I would go to the gym, get in shape, and this cycle happened back and forth until I really got clear on what I value. And the vanity metric of appearance was my truth. And I accepted that. You have to really accept some of your darkest thoughts and be like, yep, this is me. So if you ask yourself on a daily basis, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? Positive and negative, and be okay with that. There's another thing you can do, and that is look at yourself in the mirror, because often we have a hard time doing that. We have a hard time looking at ourselves internally and externally. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and kind of sit with your feelings and just say, again, it's okay, validate yourself, eventually you're going to be able to look at yourself without fear or tension and have a sense of peace. So again, I hope this video helped. Self-acceptance, maybe this is just where I'm at, is, in my opinion, more important than self-improvement, because I've come from the paradigm of do, hustle, hustle, hustle. But what's the paradox? I'm actually hustling more than ever because I've accepted myself. And while I'm hustling, I'm accepting myself. I didn't want to make a video today. I was very, very tired. But I accepted I was tired. I was even kind of angry that I kind of put in a plan, an everyday action plan to make videos every day, make a YouTube video every day. I was like angry at myself that I did that because now I have to be accountable to that. And I was feeling upset just about content creation in general, like, oh, is this what I want to do? But then, I kind of sat with that, and I had other emotions and visualizations pop up about, yes, this is what I want to do. Yes, I'm frustrated. Yes, I'm tired. But now I don't feel as tired. Like, I was just shooting TikToks, and I was like, man, okay, now I'm excited to make a YouTube video. Why? Because I'm in my authentic highest self right now. So self-acceptance, I believe, should be the foundation of your self-improvement journey. And don't think one is better than the other. You could do both at the same time. I just think a lot of people, again, if you're someone who is always looking to improve themselves, looking for the next book, I have more books than clothes. It's because I've always thought I needed to work on everything. I have many books about relationships and love and dating. I have so many books about money, business, finding your purpose. And I have so many books about health and nutrition. All goals can be categorized in those three, can be put into those three categories. And I have so many books on those topics that when does it ever stop? When do you stop learning something new and just be okay with what you know and just trust your gut in the moment? So you can have both. You can accept yourself and improve yourself. And while you're improving yourself, you can learn to accept yourself. The path of self-improvement could be self-acceptance, depending on you. But the overarching frame needs to be, I'm okay whether I get this thing or not, whether I become this person I want to become or not. The more okay you are, just imagine it, feel it in your body. The more okay you are in this moment with who you are, the more you're not even going to care about success. Or if you do, it's going to be coming from a different place. Again, hope this helped. Peace.